to remind you some housekeeping items. Feel free to use the chat to post any comments, any questions you may have. We will try to get to them whenever we have the chance. And we will also try to address them at the end of the session when we have a few minutes left. Keep yourself on mute during the training and feel free to unmute whenever we have the chance to do activities and towards the end of the session as well. A reminder, if you have never logged into Canvas, one of our preferred choices for it is to navigate to lms.tamu.edu. Click on that login button on the top right-hand corner, and you will be able to use your TamuNet ID and password to log into Canvas. Another preferred way to log into Canvas by our faculty is to go through Howdy. That is also another place you can log into Canvas. Something that I want to point out is feel free to follow along if you have a practice course available to you. Feel free to use that practice course and follow along as we are covering the things that we're going to cover today. If not, if you're here just to view, just to watch, that's also okay. We are going to have 3 different moments during this training where we're going to have a timer and a few steps for things to do for you to practice. In our lms.tamu.edu, we have prepared and posted a huge array of information for you to help you on these moves. This is a very significant move that you are making, that our school is making from eCampus to Canvas, and we want to make sure that this transition is as smooth as possible by providing you information on how to prepare for the move to Canvas, as well as how to engage with them, as well as all the training resources that we continuously curate to make them available to you as the training that you are participating in today. An overview on today's session, we are going to cover how to add pages to present course content. We're also going to cover how to use tools available through the Rich Content Editor. And we're also going to learn how to use modules. So there are basically 2 main points today, 2 huge ideas. We're going to cover pages. We're going to cover modules. Training outcomes for today's training. We are going to have participants will be able to build pages to deliver and present course content, identify how to use the tools in the Rich Content Editor to format for accessibility, and create modules and use text headers to help organize your course content. Let's go ahead and start with pages. What are pages? We know that the language used in Blackboard doesn't always 100% translate to the language, the words that are the key vocabulary that we use in Canvas. And pages is one of them. Pages are, if you ever use in Blackboard Wiki, that will be a similar equivalent. So pages allow you to store content. They allow you to present text. They allow you to present pictures, links to resources. You can also place links to videos, and it's pretty much a place for you to present lecture content, lecture materials. One example we have here is on this screenshot, and this is from the template that you will find on your summer shelf. If you have already made a transition this current spring semester, you will see that the template came with some pre-built pages for you to have a sample and build upon it. Another example of a page in Canvas is the home page. Your course template came with a home page and is that first view that students, when they open your course, this is the first thing that they see. The template allows you to add the title of your course, allows you to add a welcome message. It has 4 frequently used buttons, as well as 15 module buttons that are going to allow the student to quickly navigate to the lesson of that week or the lesson of that specific module. You can, if you want to customize it even more, you can add images to this homepage. You can also add a welcome video. You could add a combination of text, welcome message, and then also add a welcome message. That way the students have a chance to get to see you and get to know you before they start getting into all the action of the course. Okay, so from here on, we're going to start navigating back and forth between my Canvas practice course and the slide deck. Let's navigate to Canvas. I have already logged into Canvas, and this is my dashboard. If you haven't used Canvas before, this is what it looks like when you first logged in. You will see course cards. All of these course cards represent all the courses, whether you are a student, whether you are an instructor. And I am going to put into practice on these course that I have for these trainings. When you first open a course, this is what the homepage looks like, as you saw on the screenshot. And this is an opportunity for me to start customizing it and making it my own for my specific course. You're always going to see that when you are an instructor of the course, you have full control of all the different things that you want to do in your course. This is the course navigation here on the left, and I can customize which navigation items I want visible to the students and which ones I do not want visible to the students. And that's also indicated by this little eye icon. When I hover over it, it shows me that tooltip that has been disabled. Students cannot see it. But as an instructor, I can see it as I have full control of it. You have other tools on the right-hand side. On the student view, is also going to vary it a little bit. I have my 4 frequently used buttons, and I have all these pre-built module buttons for me to use. They're not linked, and that is something that you will have to link as well once you have all your modules built. For those of you also new to Canvas, there is a student view button right here on the top right corner. You will see this button in pages. You will see it in assignments, discussions. You will see it in a bunch of different places, and it's a very quick button that is going to allow you to be a student and see what is it that the students are seeing. So I'm going to click on it really quick once, so you can see what is it that the students are seeing. So they get to see that same home page with these buttons, and they get to see a different version of the course navigation on the left. They don't get to see all of the different tabs that you have seen before from the instructor view. And you can also see that this view of buttons available on the right-hand side also varies. Right here, the students always have a to-do list, and that is just reminders of things that they need to submit, assignments, discussions they need to participate in, quizzes that they need to take. And so that is very handy for the students. And so I'm going to leave my student view right here from the bottom. You get that magenta color bar at the bottom that reminds you that you are on student view. I'm going to leave that student view. So let's start opening this home page. I cannot type anything right on there. I will have to click on the edit pencil to be able to customize what I want to do on this page. I have some buttons here at the bottom that allow me to resize this page. I can click and hold down and drag down to resize this page, and that's what it allows me to do. On this one, this diagonal arrow, it allows me to go into full screen, right? So it depends on your preference. I press the escape key to leave that full screen view. So those are two different options you have to resize. I tend to use this one on the bottom corner to resize the window a little bit. And then I get to replace that placeholder text with my welcome message. And I can say, hello, students. You will write a message that works for you. Happy to learn with you. And you will go in and customize your own message. If I want to change the text, it looks maroon to me. It looks like it's italicized a bit. I want to change that a bit. I have all of these different tools from the Rich Content Editor that are going to allow me to customize and format that text. So I do not need it in bold, so I'm going to uncheck that. And I also don't want it in italics. So I click on that. You can see the text is changing already. It is paragraph, so let's talk about a little bit of accessibility as well. This is going to allow me to make sure that my text content is accessible. So let's make sure you use heading levels and that you use this paragraph whenever it is text that is meant to be a paragraph. We still need to change the font color. So make sure the text is highlighted. And I can go back to my Rich Content Editor tools. I'm going to change the text color. I'm going to make it black. That works for me. And you can see that you have different tools within the Rich Content Editor to format your content. I'm going to press enter to go into the next line. If I wanted, I could embed an image. Let's say you want to embed an image of you as the instructor, make sure that they can put a face to the name of the course that they enrolled in. I don't have any pictures of me at the moment here, but if you do, you have the chance to upload the image if you haven't uploaded to your Canvas course yet. If it is already in the course, you will be able to use course images to locate that picture. So that is one strategy for you to use images on there on the welcome message. If you want, you can also use the record upload media button. Sorry. And that is going to allow you to record a message for your students. If you already have a video, feel free to upload, drag the file, and upload that video message here. Another option you have is to use the record button. And you can see me here since my webcam is not being used by Zoom, but is used here in Canvas. So I can press the start recording button and I can record a message of me welcoming the students to the class and maybe giving them some key pointers that they should keep in mind to get ready for a class. So that is just another idea of how you can use that. You may be interested in having the students read something, some article to get them ready as part of that welcome message. Use that little page icon to attach a document as well if needed. If you are using Office 365 or if you're using Google Drive, you may be able to use those as well to link your documents in here too. So I have these icons for Office 365. You may not have it. If you're looking for some of the tools that we have integrated in Canvas, you will be able to find them through these drop-down menu on these little plus icons. And you can find through View All, you can find all the different tools that we have integrated: Google Apps, CamType, MathType, MediaSite, Office 365, and YouTube. Yes, you can embed YouTube videos if there are, if perhaps you store your videos in YouTube, this is how you can embed them in here. More ways for you to format your text, to create indentations, bullet points, and also to align it left, center, whichever works for you. Okay. Also, you can add the course title in here. Just highlight, replace it with the text, maybe the name of the course that you're teaching. So that is something you can do. Okay, let me cancel out of that because I actually don't want to save that. So we took a look at how to modify the home page. We click on that edit pencil at the very, very top, and we can modify it. And also, a noting here is you can always refer to the instructor module to learn more on how to customize your modules. We will talk a little bit more on what modules are about and what is on the template that is going to help you build your pages and your modules. We talk about the rich content editor and how it's going to allow you to format your text, integrate videos, documents, links to resources, and more, so you have access to integrated applications that we have integrated with Canvas. This rich content editor is going to be visible whatever you are in a page, as you saw, whatever you are in announcements, whenever you are in assignments, discussions, and quizzes. So on all of these different places, you are going to be able to customize, format the text, and embed other items as well. Okay, this is an activity, and this is a time for you to open your practice course. If you haven't done so, locate your homepage on that practice course. You're going to add a welcome message. You can add an image. You can add a video or even record a video as well. And make sure that your text is formatted for accessibility, and make sure that you're using heading levels. If you're adding extra items in there, if it is a title, it should be a heading, and it could be a heading level 2 or level 3. And make sure that the text that should be presented as paragraph, make sure that it is labeled as such, that it is formatted as paragraph. And we want to make sure that content is accessible from the very beginning so that it can accommodate students of all different abilities. So let's give you about, let's say, 4 minutes to practice. Okay, so I hope that those 4 minutes allow you to put into practice how to edit a little bit that homepage, type a welcome message, and make sure that your text is formatted for accessibility. This session is being recorded, so you will be able to watch the replay at a later time as well to make sure that you refresh what we're covering today. Let's talk about modules, and let's talk a little bit about the anatomy of a module. A module is, imagine like a folder, right? And what is a folder? A folder is a container. So this module, it is going to contain all of the items that you want the students to cover for any specific week. Best practices is we suggest that you create folders, modules by week, right? And that you put everything that the students need to cover for that specific week on that specific module. So that could be one way you could name your modules in Canvas. You could name them by week. It could be module week 1 or week 1 module, or just week 1, week 2. And then under each module, you are going to place your pages, and those pages are going to contain the learning objectives. What is it that the students will be able to do during that week? A module of review or an introduction, the learning materials that they will need, and the activities that they will be covering for that specific week. So that's going to be assignments, discussions, quizzes, different projects that they will cover, they will be working on for that specific week. So it's basically what the modules should cover. That is one common example of how people build their modules. And so that is just a way for you to have an idea of how modules are built. However, we do see faculty creating their modules in a way that works for them. Maybe you will decide that you want to build a module just for reading, and you want to design a module that is just for exams, and then a module that is just for assignments, a module that is just for discussions. If you think that that works for you, as long as it is very well organized, if that works for you and your students, that is what matters. But ideally, you want to organize things in modules to help streamline that navigation on your end as the instructor and also on the end as the student. You can, if you don't have a practice course with you right now, like if you open your dashboard and you don't see practice course, or perhaps you want a brand new practice course, you can feel free to send a ticket to aihelp@tamu.edu, and they will be able to create a practice course for you. Make sure you give them your UIN, and they will be able to create a practice course for you, and you will be able to find it in your dashboard. If you wanted a brand new, this practice course will come in with the template. This is what a module sample would look like, and that is what you will find in your template. And so they're going to allow you to control the flow of the course. And as I mentioned before, it's going to allow you to place your files and all of the different materials that the students should be covering for any given week. Let's take a look at that before we go into the syllabus. Let's take a look at what the modules look like, what you have available in the practice course. Let me click on the home page of this practice course. So we are back again to the home page of the course. And let's click on modules. When you are on modules, this is a module. Instructor module, do not publish, that's one module. Student experience resources, that's another module. Week 1, that is another module. Right here at the top, I have these buttons, collapse all, and view progress, and then add module. And then I have a 3 vertical dot button that usually tells me that I have more options to explore. But I wanted to get your attention to the collapse all. And so that is going to collapse every single module so that it is easier to locate things. This is going to get very busy as you progress and build your courses in Canvas, because you may have, if you teach a 15-week course, you're going to have 15 modules, and you're going to have a lot of items on any given module. So that is one way for you to collapse everything really quick and just quickly scan through to locate the module that you're looking for. Is a button that the students also have available on their end. You can see that on your instructor side, you have another student view button in here that allows you to see what is it that the student sees. So we as faculty, we as instructors of the course, we get to see all of these 3 modules. When I click on student view, the student view is only seeing these 1 student experience resources. So make sure you always check that student view button to make sure, are my students able to see what I have published? Are they able to see it or not? I'm gonna make sure that double check. Okay, so the instructor module, and it says do not publish because it is meant to provide you with instructions on how to work on this template that has been provided to you. One of my favorite parts of these instructor module, it is the how to enhance the template graphics. It's going to break it down to you on what graphical items you have available. So you have some icons that come in maroon, come in gray, they come in white as well. You have button options that come in 3 different colors, gray, yellow, and maroon. You have module buttons and you have week buttons. But if for some reason you say, I don't like this naming convention, it doesn't work with how I present my course content, I want my buttons to be called chapters, or I want my buttons to be called units. Well, you have the ability to customize your buttons with the naming convention that works for your course. And here it is on this table, buttons with customization links. We have created a very short video, if you check our YouTube channel, and we show you how to add and customize these buttons for something that works for you. There is this additional frequently used button. You could replace the name of these buttons so that it works for something that you want the students to see. Same as the buttons, if you want them to be called unit or chapters, you're welcome to use these links and customize your buttons and bring them over to the template. That is something that I wanted to point out. So as part of the instructor module, that is not to be published. It is not published by default. Keep it that way. It is for you, for the instructor, to get information on how to work on the different items that come with the template. The student experience resources comes published. And it's because you see there are 4 pages. These are 4 content pages, and those are equivalent to the 4 frequently used buttons on the home page. There was a button for the syllabus, and that button directs the student to this content page. There was a button for academic resources, and that directs the student to this page. Same for Texas A&M resources, it directs the student to this page. And the button office hours, it directs the student to this page. So these are content pages as they are labeled with this icon. It has that little page icon. And you can see that when I hover the mouse pointer over the icon, it shows me the tooltip that is a page. The other module that comes with the template, it is a sample module. And it has been named week 1. Feel free to change the name. Again, something that works for you. It could be called week 1, module 1, or chapter 1. Or you could just name it maybe with dates, right? Maybe week from April 16 to whichever date you want to make the cutoff. Or it could be named with the topic of the week. It comes with and it's a structure that you are welcome to replicate or modify. These are text headers. This is a text header, and this is also a text header. They don't take the student anywhere. They are meant to help you organize your content. So I'm clicking on them. It's just a text heading. It just allows you to just mark, label sections of your module. These are content pages as well, as you see by the icon. This one is an assignment, and you know it's an assignment. It has that little paper and the pencil icon. This is a discussion, the 2 speech bubbles overlapping. And the rocket ship is always a quiz, always an exam. And this is another content page. Feel free to explore what is pre-built for me. All of this is placeholder text. Feel free to replace all that text. That's what we want you to do. Replace that text. Make this template work for your class and leverage all of these different pre-built spaces to help you save time. When you click on the next button, I go to the next sample content page. You can embed Google Slides. You can embed your PowerPoint slides in here too. So you can leverage all of these pre-built things to make it work for your class. There is also pre-built instructions, layout for assignments as well. So let me navigate back to modules. That is what the sample module will have. If I want to do things on this module, let's say change things, the 3 vertical dots, that's where you are always going to find more options. If I wanted to change the name on this module, I click on those 3 vertical dots, click on edit, replace that and change the name to something that works for you, click on Update Module, and the name gets replaced. If I wanted to change these text headings, 3 vertical dots, edit, and I can replace the text. If you wanted to be instructions, like maybe like one short phrase for instructions, like you could tell the students, please cover the readings first, or something like that. You could just give some quick instruction in there, and you can see that that gets replaced. So that could be one way for you to add some quick instructions in there before students start navigating through different module items. You can, let me go back here, make sure that I'm following. So adding information to the syllabus, very important. The school has made sure that they create a syllabus with all of the guidelines, also getting up to date with COVID guidelines specific for Tamil University, for Texas A&M University as well. So let's click on that syllabus page. When you open the syllabus page, again, it's a template. We highly encourage you to use the syllabus page, as it is going to allow the students to find all of the information in regards to policies as well, not only for the university, but for your specific course as well. So I'm just scrolling down very quickly. You can see that this is a template that is going to work for all our locations. So we only have one syllabus for all 3 schools. So make sure that what you need to do is click on the edit pencil at the top, and you will be adding your course information. So course number, course title, and so on and so forth. You can also format the text. Like, let's say you wanted these sections to be bold, you could do that as well to get draw more attention to it. You could replace the course description. You could, if you have your syllabus already, let's say in Word document, you could just copy and paste the text in here to replace that placeholder text. Same thing for prerequisites. And then your course learning outcomes, your textbook and resources materials for your specific course, your grading policy, and basically pretty much everything that is specific to your course. One question I get asked often during these trainings is, how can I add my paper syllabus? Like, how can I attach it? Like, you could do both. You could fill in all the boxes in here, fill in all the blanks with your specific course information, and find a place, maybe here in between these 2 headings, or maybe right here at the bottom of credit hours. But let's say you want to place it in here, and you want to place a downloadable copy, let's say a Word document of your syllabus. You can do that from the Rich Content Editor. Upload a document. Look for that document in your computer. Let's see if I can locate just a sample document. I'm just going to add this one document and then submit. And here it is. We're going to pretend that this is your syllabus document that you just uploaded, and that's where it shows. If you want to draw more attention to it, feel free to use the highlight. You can also make the font bigger. You can bold it, right, to draw some attention, and students can also see that they have this downloadable and printable copy of the syllabus, if there are students that, would like to have their own as well in paper. I'm going to cancel out of that. I don't want to save these changes. But that is how you make the changes to add information to the syllabus. You saw how we've renamed the week 1 module. You are free to rename it for something that works for your specific course. And you saw how easy it is on those 3 vertical dots at the very, very far right-hand corner. And let's give it a try. Let's have you locate your syllabus page on that practice course. And that syllabus page, as a friendly reminder, is located inside the Student Experience Resources module. And you will be able to add course information to it. And let's have you practice rename that week 1 module. And let's do 3 minutes for that, since this is, okay. Okay, so let's continue. How to create a new module. You saw how we were able to locate that pre-built module as a sample that we can use, right? And we can replicate it. We can duplicate this module. But we can also, let me show you really quick. To duplicate a module, you're going to have to take the quiz. If you have any exams, if you have any quizzes inside a module, you're going to have to momentarily take it out of that module to be able to duplicate. And you do that through those 3 vertical dots at the top of the module. And you will have that duplicate button to be able to duplicate these modules. So I click on that, duplicated modules, they show at the bottom, and they will have that copy word right at the end of its own title. So you'll be able to then replace all of the different names. If I want to create a brand new module, because I'm going to create my own structure for the module, you can do that on that add module at the very, very top. Click on that, give your module a name. Let's say it's going to be week 3 module. You can give it a different name, add module. Every time you add something, it gets added at the very bottom of the modules view page. That is how you add a new module. How you can create content. So you added a new module. How is it that you get to add content items to these modules? We added a new module. We name it week 3. From that plus button, you're going to be able to add content areas to it. By default, it's always going to say add assignment. But you have, from that drop-down menu, you have the other options. You can add a quiz. You can add a file, a page, a discussion. You can add a text header. You can use an external URL to add in there, or you can use something you want to add from the external tool. So let's say you want to add a page. Then the next step is to click Create Page, because it will be a new page. I'm just going to name it New Page. Add item. There is a new item I have added. I'm going to add, let's say, an assignment. Use that drop down, select assignment, brand new assignment, create assignment, and name it. Add item. That new item gets added in there. We're adding placeholders, right? These are blank. There is nothing in there. We're just adding placeholder. Make sure that then you go into every item so that you can add the items that you need in there. Same thing if you keep, wanted to add more items, that's how you will go about adding pages, adding quizzes, so on and so forth. Adding a text header, drop down box, text header, give it a name. I'm just gonna be practical and name it text header. I'm gonna put it in here. There we go, and it's gonna help my students with that visual structure and be able to navigate what is in the module. Okay, so let's see. Duplicate the content. We need to take quizzes out of a module before we are allowed to duplicate. Otherwise, we won't have that duplicate option. How to publish a module. This is very, very important as well. there are two things that need to be published. When I'm working on items that are in a module, if I publish these modules, it publishes every single item that is inside my module. But let's say you're working on something that is not ready to be published, but is inside the module already. Make sure that you go individually to that item and unpublish that item. Let's say this assignment one is a big project. It's going to take a lot of work. You want to make sure that all the instructions are there, that everything that the students need to do are there. You're working on it. It's not ready to be published. You don't want the students to see it yet. Make sure that that button for that specific assignment is set to not publish and that everything else is published. This button for the module needs to be published always if you want students to see anything inside these modules. If this module button is set to not publish, but you have this individual items published, students are not going to be able to see it. They're not. And I'm going to give you an example. With that module 3, student view, students do not see that module 3 because the module is not published. The individual items are published, but you are going to be able, the individual items are published, but the module is not. So make sure you keep that in mind, as this is something that takes practice to remember, because we see that happening too. Okay, let's see. I'm actually going to skip this because I see you're asking some questions, and I really want to address your questions. So let me just keep this in here. Continue. So other training opportunities that we have, you attended the step 1, building and organizing Canvas. After this session at 11, we move into the step 2, assessing in Canvas. Then the step 3, grading in Canvas as well. We will do these 3 same sessions again in the afternoon. If you want to get the chance to join these sessions live, feel free to join us as well. Feel free to check our lms.tamu.edu. That training and support page has all the training opportunities that we have available to you. If you are still looking into moving your course content from Blackboard to Canvas, the options are you can try to transfer some of the items. We are here to support you. On this training and support page, you will be able to find information on some one-on-one consultations that we have available to you to make an appointment and meet with one of our LMS migration experts that will be able to help you and walk you through that step by step. And also information on Canvas pages and modules. As I mentioned, our Canvas, our course migration consultations. We have our recordings and all the trainings that we offer through our YouTube channel. And I am going to attach a PDF of today's training so that you get the chance to also check some of those links. So just give it a few more seconds and you will be ready for you to download that PDF from the chat. There it is. Okay, it has been sent, so you should be able to download that PDF. So feel free to download it, and so you can cover some of that information in your own time. We will have this recording available at some point in our YouTube channel. That is where we always store all our recordings from all the training offerings that we have in our office. You have any questions? Let us know. We have office hours as well on Tuesdays and Thursdays, so feel free to jump in one of those, and have a great day.